Welcome to Stephen King Saturday. We got a lesser known, completely overlooked Stephen King adaptation anthology. Now, this features two stories, one from Stephen King and one from Clive Barker. Talk about a completely unknown film.
Yeah,
This
I've
is
never really heard about it.
I've seen this before. It's been a long while, but I will definitely say, after having rewatched it, this is a TV movie, so I'll give it some leeway there. But this is a really, really silly, stupid movie.
It is silly.
So there's probably a reason why this is forgotten. It's pretty forgettable outside of just like remembering it for how silly it is.
I actually liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like movies like this that are kind of campy sometimes, and like they definitely have like it has a Goosebumps kind of flavor to it. But I like horror like that sometimes.
Goosebumps, that's good.
Yeah, where it's like kind of toes the line between silly and creepy, and I think that's a nice combo. And I actually think that both of the stories, or I guess there's kind of like three stories, sort of. One of them has like two parts. Yeah,
well,
like
the
four.
Wraparound.
Yeah.
But the wraparound is
split into two parts.
Two things. Yeah.
I liked it. I don't know. I was into it.
Yeah. It's funny coming from the review we just did.
Yeah.
On the Elevator Game, which was horrendous, by the way. We were knocking that because it has a very childish feel, almost like a Goosebumps, right?
But it's a bad version.
But it's a horrible
Goosebumps.
version.
Yeah.
Right. So
this has like good acting.
It has campy acting.
But it
has good
better
campy
acting. And it has like better writing too.
Well,
it has campy acting.
Stephen King and Clive Barker. I don't know. The dialogue is written better. I wouldn't say the writing is good. Like, as far as the stories go, they're pretty... These are the kinds of stories that they probably got for nothing, right? These are kind of like Stephen King and Clive Barker's afterthought stories. That they're like, those? You can have those. Like, the chattery teeth.
Yeah.
And the politic body, or the body politic. Like, what? These are some C grade stories that they wrote for sure.
I like them.
They're super silly though, like super
silly.
Like, to compare this to other stuff they've done.
Well, yeah, it's not like the same like tiers like Hellraiser or The Shining or something, but
that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying they're like, those stories you can have for free. This just feels like a production company that's like, what do you have that you're willing to give us for $5,000?
So we could say Stephen King, Clive Barker.
And he's like, how about, let's see, what did I write that I'm not? How about the teeth one? You want that shit? And it's like, if that's all we got, it's like they went through the box of used parts, and they were like, chattery teeth and Clive Barker. Oh, okay. What? Oh, hands that come to life. It's silly shit. It's super, super silly shit. But let's get into it. Okay, so this one is directed by Mick, Gareth, who's done quite a bit of Stephen King adaptations, a lot of made for TV. Basically, if Mick Gareth could do it, he was going to do it. So, kudos to him for being that made for TV guy that would take on the silly stories of King. And sometimes not. Sometimes he'd do the bigger stuff, but it was always the made for TV stuff. So he's the made for TV King director. That's okay. That's not a bad title to have. He's a definite horror fan though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. This one stars Christopher Lloyd. Doing his breast. Whoa, little Freudian slip there, huh? His best Fester impersonation. I know he played Fester, but This feels very festive.
It does. It feels very festive.
Yeah.
His,
And
like, weird little outfit.
his outfit, which, I didn't even make the connection immediately, but in my head, when I very first saw it, was like, this looks like something a Cenobite would wear, right? Yeah. This looks like something that a hell priest wears, right?
His, like, thick collar, like, leather collar.
Yeah.
Like, the weird gothic, like
if a Cenobite came out in this outfit, it would look right.
Yeah, I'd be like.
So the fact that this obviously has Clive Barker attached to it, and Clive Barker himself makes an appearance as an anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
In his story.
That's cute.
I wonder if he's on set and he's like, you know what this movie needs? More leather.
Yeah.
Let's put people in leather. Christopher Lloyd is definitely kooky. He's not like, he's that character that he pulls up to help you and you're immediately like, no. He's not selling himself as trustworthy.
He's super eccentric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a Rolls Royce that he's driving in? It looked like
know.
one. I'm not
cars.
a car guy, but I'm pretty
cars.
sure that's what it's supposed to be. He's like got tons of money because his little
like,
trailer is so lavish.
Yeah. I've had the feeling that he was like an immortal or something because he's like traveling around he's a collector of stories. Like that.
This actually reminds me of a kids show that my kids and I watched. We showed you like an episode, and the episode we watched, funny enough, is kind of the elevator game.
Oh yeah, Creeped Out.
And that is like this kid who goes around and collects creepy tales.
Yeah.
Right, similar there.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, the episode we watched is very elevator game-esque.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it starts with this newly married couple.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just illustrating why women marry for money. Because you don't want to be broke down on the side of the road in some piece of shit and not have any ability to get out of there. Kaylee did not learn from this, though. No. You did not marry for money.
Not married for love.
Married for love, you dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. We can be dumb together. And I did like a couple of the nicknames in this. I like Cookie Face. I like Cookie Face for their little romance here. Because at first, honestly, when we first met her, and this was actually me being like prejudice, I guess. Right? I was looking at her and like just the way she looked and acted for the first like couple seconds, I immediately like labeled her in my head as like some ditzy bitch.
Aw, yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's gonna be someone who isn't, is controlling and conniving, and that's what I was expecting just instantly right off the bat. And so that's like what I was preparing myself for. Like, oh, this is gonna be an abusive relationship, and she's gonna be like telling him what to do and all this. And then their relationship is like super sweet, super genuine, super lovey. They actually feel like a couple that loves each other and this and that. And I don't know, like within 20, 30 seconds, I was like, maybe I was wrong, but I was still kind of guarded. I was like, is this going to be? And then no, like they stay super cutesy and romantic with each other. We don't get a lot of time with them, but I was just like, oh wow, my bias really came through there for a moment.
The only thing I thought was that she reminded me of Jennifer Tilly as Tiffany.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked their relationship. I thought it was really sweet, and obviously we don't spend much time with them.
No, we don't. So he goes off to get help, which don't leave her alone in the car.
No.
And she had a real nice surprise for him when she got home. When he got back to the car, should I say. She killed the battery.
Yeah.
So he went out to get like a new tire, or I hope help. But if he brought back like a new tire, rolling it back.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like,
yeah.
I killed the battery too.
She was like just listening to like the radio and had like the light on.
Oh yeah,
there was no like AC or anything. It's not like she had the car on. She just had
gone
like
for hours.
I know.
You can't leave the radio in the car, the lights like in the
no
for hours.
I know.
No way.
I'm just saying, like she didn't even have AC on.
Sure,
do they have AC in cars?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Sure.
In the 90s?
I don't remember.
Bro, what?
I don't
Yes, they
remember.
had air conditioners. Jesus, how long ago do you think the 90s were? Oh my goodness. You were born in 92.
I know, but I don't remember.
I
don't
get
remember
that,
about the
but
AC.
you never been in a car older than like 2000? Anyway.
No. I don't think so.
That's crazy. Yes, they had freaking air conditioning. And his trailer is like got some Harry Potter magic on it.
Yeah, it's bigger on the inside.
Oh, much bigger.
That's not Harry Potter, that's Doctor Who. TARDIS,
but it's Harry Potter too.
And it's Harry Potter.
Don't say it's not Harry Potter.
And it's
National Lampoon's
Mary
Loaded
Poppins.
Weapon. I got to bring up Loaded Weapon in like at least 1 out of 5 reviews. I was going to bring it up here anyway, so this is a good segue for that, because the therapist in the second story is in Loaded Weapon.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's the guy who's asking him if they want glossy or matte prints.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man, I bring up that movie in reviews than any other movie ever, because there's so much parodying going on in the film.
Yeah.
It parodies so many things
that
it's like hard in my brain not to correlate, not to connect them together.
Yeah.
You know? People know. If you've been with the channel for a long time, you know I've mentioned National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1 a lot. I can't help myself, man. I got to review that movie at some point, even though it's just a slapstick comedy. But one of my favorites. Have we watched it? We watched it. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. And that Luger has not Luger, Emilio Estevez's character. He has a trailer that when they walk inside, it's like really big. Mansion.
Yeah.
Like it's so much bigger.
Yeah.
And it's freaking fun. Anyway, okay. So he tells her a story, and it's about chattery teeth.
Yep.
So now in these wraparounds that we have, so we have the opening wraparounds, and then the actors from each wraparound play the actors of the stories they're being told.
I like that.
To a degree. So the girl
she's
technically
not really
she's the voice on the phone, and she's in the picture when he looks at his family.
Right.
So what I find kind of interesting though is that in the story of the first, when it ends on the main character living happily ever after, basically. He takes the teeth, they're like his bodyguard, and he has a happily ever after, and he gets to go home to his wife and kid.
Right.
In the wraparound, he dies.
I know.
And they don't have a happily ever after.
Yeah.
Now, in the second story, inside the story, the character dies.
Yeah.
Right? And then he saves everyone, right? So he's like the hero. And then in the end of the wraparound story of that story, he lives and is arrested and seen as a villain.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like total contrast of both stories and how the characters end in each of their stories. Then you go to the wraparound segment that finishes those stories with the real people, and their endings are reversed.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I think that's really cool.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but...
Well, not to jump ahead, but the second one, like, even though he gets arrested, he also potentially doesn't, like, stop the hand revolution. Because his hands are, like... And then he gets arrested. So
I don't
it's
know
like it could
if that means that this is going to have, like... If his hands started talking...
I thought they were. Oh, maybe they weren't talking. They were just moving.
He just kind of did that, and then he was like, what the hell? Yeah. So I think he kind of put a little bit of a spell on him to get him caught, right? But I don't think that his hands were going to, like, cut themselves free and whatnot. Like, I don't think that story's coming to life. It also could just be, like, but I could be wrong.
Doesn't really have control over his hands as a thief. Like, they just do that. He does it so, like... naturally or like
Yeah.
without thought.
Yeah.
That he wasn't even thinking like, oh, that's a police officer in front of me. Like,
Oh no, because his hands start like going like this, and he can't control
Yeah.
them. Yeah, no, it's definitely. But we'll get to that story. So chattery teeth. So I'm on the side of the road.
yeah,
I'm trying to get home to you,
yeah,
but there's a storm outside that's dangerous.
right.
I'm tired. You are then giving me shit to get on the road and come home?
No, never.
Terrible
Even
wife.
if I wanted to see you so bad, which I would.
Terrible wife.
It's dangerous. It's so dangerous. And it's like their son's birthday, and that sucks.
Oh, the son's like giving him shit, but a kid doesn't
But
know.
it's like, come on. Like, it's not like he's, like, he would be there if he could. It's not a matter of him, like, ditching out to do something else. Like, it's weather. Like he says, it's an act of God, you know? So, yeah, it's definitely frustrating that they both, like, give him a hard time, and then that's what sets him on this path.
Yeah. He does have a good nickname for the kid, though.
King size.
King size. I thought that was cute.
It is cute.
So, he's got two good little nicknames.
Yeah.
And he does refer to his wife as Cookie Face in this.
Yeah.
In the story.
In the story.
Quicksilver makes an appearance in this story.
Yes.
You can see his car out front, and then he's also in the restaurant and kind of looks at him.
Yeah.
But he does not make an appearance in the second story that I saw.
I don't think so. I didn't notice it if he was in there.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, why is he in this story but not in the next one?
I don't know. But, yeah.
He should have been, like, in the waiting area.
That would have been good.
You know, something. But I don't know. Maybe he wasn't on set for that one. If I was in like a whiteout, or if I was in a dust storm or something and I was driving through the road,
Yeah.
and I was just trying to like see,
Yeah.
right, and there was a dude literally standing in the middle of the road, and I almost hit him.
Yeah.
Whose fault do you think
It's
that
the
is?
guy in the road.
Don't
It's
stand
the
in the
guy
middle
in
of
the
the
road.
road
No.
in a dust storm,
But
and
he's
then
like-
give someone shit
Yeah.
for almost hitting you.
Absolutely not. Like, he is like kind of crazy though. That's
He
why
is crazy,
That's why
but
he's in the middle of the road.
the guy in the car
Yeah.
looks like he's like feeling bad and like, oh my
Sure.
god, what did I almost do? It's
Yeah,
like, what
it's
did you
like-
almost do?
Like, he's standing in the middle of the road, and like, it's a whiteout, sure, but you can still see the road enough, like a few feet in front of you. So it's not like he didn't know that he was in the middle of the road. He was purposely standing right there in the middle.
Sure. I mean, this guy was just asking to get hit.
And it's
so-
probably because he's like, nobody's going to see me if I stand on the side of the road.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, what?
I have noticed in the movies we've been watching lately that on the side of the gas tanks, it's like, this gas contains lead. Just thinking
So
back to a
crazy.
time when we actually had leaded gas
Yeah.
is crazy. And there are going to be things that we have right now
Yeah.
that people are going to be like,
Like,
What?
what?
why did you do that?
Yeah.
Right? I can think of a few off the top of my head, but then somehow it would become political. Because every fucking thing's political these days. You can't even like say, this is known to kill you. We should probably stop doing those things. There's alternatives that are just the same effect, but don't cause cancer. Maybe we should switch to those, and somehow it's political today. We've literally lost our minds. So, anyways, moving on. I will say, Bill, our main character here, that's the driver. He's pretty lame to his passenger. He shouldn't have picked him up if he was going to treat him like shit.
Yeah.
The way he talks to him, and then like when the hitchhiker is trying to like call him dude or whatever, and he just comes back at him like the biggest
He's
boomer
so,
I've
like,
ever seen
yeah,
in my
he's
life.
like, my name's not dude or man or dude Mar, it's Bill.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
don't get me wrong. The hitchhiker guy is a
He's an-
total piece of shit.
yeah, he's not a good guy. But
No.
at that point, he's kind of just acting
Like a normal person.
like a like vagabond,
Yeah.
kind of like hippie guy, really.
Yeah.
Like the way he talks. And
Until he puts a cigarette out
oh my god, yeah.
on his kid's art.
Yeah, at that point you'd be like,
Oh, that point I'd break his fucking face.
yeah, get out of
Guaranteed.
here. Yeah. You'd be
I wouldn't have him in the car in the first place, but for some reason I did.
Yeah.
And he like lit up a cigarette, and I'm like, no, put that out. And he put it out on my car, but especially on my kid's artwork that's on my car. Dude, I would never pull over and beat the shit out of someone so fast. Oh my God. I would snap so fast.
He's crazy.
But he won't give up his van.
No.
And he goes, this is always funny when the hard ass meets the person who doesn't give in.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like, what are you doing, man? Are you a psycho?
Yeah.
Like, you're literally holding a knife to my throat.
He speeds up. He's like, I buckled my seatbelt.
Yeah.
Did you buckle yours?
He gave him so much time to buckle his seatbelt.
But the seatbelt was out of the car.
I know.
Yeah.
But at that, I don't think he knew that.
No.
I mean, that's just coincidental that it happened to be stuck.
Yeah.
I think they showed that just to see. I think that's always supposed to show that he can't open the door because that's like...
It's like jammed in there.
It's jammed into the door, and also he can't put his seatbelt on, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think he would know that. You know, the driver,
I don't think
Bill.
he might have noticed, but I don't think he did.
He knows he didn't put his seatbelt on.
He just knows he didn't put it on. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so they wreck, and then the teeth kill this guy.
Yeah.
Which is... I don't know. He yells, bite him.
Yeah.
I don't really know what this is. Does he...
I think that he was given the teeth. So I think when he stops at that like roadside zoo and whatever, I think the guy...
Scooters?
Yeah, it's Scooters. I think he gives him those teeth because he knows that they're like magic teeth. And I think he's like sensing like he's got the shine. So he gives it to him to protect him.
So do you think Scooter had those as some kind of like security system or protector for himself? And he has a really poor relationship with his wife. He's dying. And he sees this guy who's like kind of in a jam at the moment.
Yeah.
And he like gifts him these teeth that will protect him. And because he kind of gives him a look when he comes out, like this guy's getting in your car with you, but like
he looks a bit
I got you,
like reproachful and kind of like, but it's okay. Yeah, I do. I think that he knew that they were like magic protective teeth.
Yeah,
and gave it to him intentionally.
We'll come back to the magic protective teeth because I'm not 100% on that yet, but I have a question for you on that. We'll get to it in a second. But yeah, the teeth drag a guy away, so this has got some power to it.
Yeah,
they have some
strong
strength in them teeth.
Lots of calcium.
Yeah. So after he's dead, we find out that number one, he is a liar. He promised his kid he'd be home.
Yeah.
And he clearly didn't make it home that day.
No, he did not.
He's good a garbage father.
He wrecked instead.
He got hijacked, wrecked his car, watched something magical kill somebody.
Yeah, supernatural, chattering teeth, eat a man alive.
From what I heard on the phone, those wouldn't be good enough excuses for that family.
No, they'd be like,
we
don't care.
You said you'd be here.
I want a divorce.
Yes.
I want a new dad.
I want a new dad. I want a new dad. Mom, go get me one.
She'd be like,
and send dad the videos of you with new dad. It was a very vindictive family.
Yeah.
So we not only find out he's a garbage father, just kidding, but also that we jump ahead 9 months.
Yeah.
Scooter has passed away, and now his wife has renamed the place and has made it more of a updated business. But
it has videos, which is what he wanted.
Okay.
Scooter wanted like a video store. Remember, he's like,
right, but she made a full diner.
She has like a diner and videos.
Yeah.
On the sign.
So she gave him his little credit there, but she did change the name of the joint.
Yeah. She definitely seems happier that he's dead, which is sad, but I don't know. I mean, because he doesn't seem like he was suffering a ton. Like, I could understand if he was like miserable and like could barely move, and she's like, I'm happy that he died because now he's not like in pain or whatever.
Well,
but
yeah, she was
going through menopause and he was dying.
Yeah, she thought he was holding her life back, so she felt like her life was on menopause. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Them's the jokes.
Them's the jokes.
Them's the jokes to subscribe for. And so, okay. Now, she pulls the teeth out, gives them back to him, and then he goes to leave.
Yeah.
Tries to talk to him in front of her, and she's like, "You all right?"
Yeah, he's like, "Do you want to
she's
fight
like,
me?"
He hit his head a little harder. I mean, that's even
her
what
smile is really funny there, though, because she's
Yeah.
just like,
like,
so
he's a
uncomfortable.
crazy person.
Yeah.
So he goes outside, and then this is where you could say the dog always knows.
Yeah, you could say this.
So here's my question. I got two ideas here with that ending. So I'm kind of unsure of this. Is the dog barking at the teeth because he senses some kind of like evil
Yeah.
or some kind of something's wrong with those teeth and maybe it's a threat,
Yeah.
right? Or was this the teeth that was on alert and was like started kind of chattering or whatever to alert his master this dog is a threat because the dog started growling, kind of going at him.
I thought that it was, well, I think the dog always knows. But I think that the dog sensed that the teeth were supernatural.
Yeah.
Growled at them.
Yeah.
And then because it was showing aggression,
yeah,
the teeth reacted and were like, "Arr." That's what I think. So I don't think it was really like, the dog's not bad. The dog was just a normal dog that was reacting to it. And the teeth were like, it's a threat, which would be bad because now that means that whenever he's around and somebody is like mildly aggressive towards him or even like unintentionally aggressive,
yeah,
the teeth are going to be like,
I'm okay with that.
They're like,
if anyone wants to be like that with me, I'm going to bring my teeth with me.
What?
But I agree with you on the dog. And one of the things I also would use as evidence there is in your establishment, some kind of dog you're going to have sitting on your porch sees people all day.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people going on that road, but that's that kind of dog, a shop dog. That's like so accustomed to people. They're not attacking nobody.
Yeah.
Right? They're people to them are just nothing.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, oh, there's somebody else to pet me.
Yeah,
maybe.
unless they're like mean people.
We've been to businesses.
Yeah.
Right, that have the shop animal.
Yeah, we have.
Right, that thrift store in Sedona that has the cat. And it's just like those animals are just, they're so used to people. It's kind of like the birds.
Yeah.
Or something in parking lots.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of people.
They're
around them so much. They're just kind of like, food? Food?
Aww.
One thing I did notice here, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the teeth and the chattering teeth
looked real.
Had the same look to them as the main character's teeth.
I noticed
he had
that
the exact
too.
Same gap in the front teeth.
I noticed that too.
I don't know if that was on by design.
Maybe.
That his teeth matched the teeth. But
Probably.
they did.
I liked it. I like that they matched.
So, there you go. Probably the most anyone's ever going to dissect chattery teeth.
There you go.
This is the definitive review of this movie on YouTube, guaranteed.
But then we get to the wraparound.
Yep.
And a guy pulls up as he's ending, as Quicksilver's ending the story.
Yep.
There's like a crash outside, and she runs outside, and this guy's like, "Oh, is he all right?" And he hit her husband, who's being dragged away into the desert by the teeth.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't
understand. And then Quicksilver's like, "Go back to your master," or whatever.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Because it is the guy from the story, kind of, right? He looks the same. So I don't really know what this is trying to say.
I don't either.
I will say there's definitely nothing going on here that's like comeuppance or something, right? Like stories like this usually end with people getting their comeuppance.
Right.
This is not the case. This is like a very loving husband that just went to go try to help his wife out.
Yeah.
And then was hit by a car randomly. Now, of course, this shares similarities to the story we just saw, right? There's a car wreck of sorts, and then there's a body being dragged off by teeth, very similarly to the story itself. But what they're trying to say with this story or this ending, I literally have no freaking clue.
I don't either.
So
I don't either. I don't understand why the teeth drag them off. It's like they're hungry and they're just like I cleaned up the roadkill.
So at the end of the story, I'm led to wonder if the teeth are malevolent or benevolent.
I mean, they seem malevolent.
And at the end of this, they seem malevolent.
They seem malevolent at the end of this, and at the end of the story, they seem benevolent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm confused about.
It's weird.
It's like, oh, I find there to be an argument for the benevolency of them, right? There's nothing evil. They're just kind of like there. I mean, they're more like anti-heroes.
Right.
At the end of the first one, at the end of the story that we hear, but then we see them dragging off the husband, who's a good guy for no reason, and it's like, are they evil now?
I know.
What happened? I thought they weren't evil, but now this makes me think they're evil.
Yeah.
Right?
It does. It does make me think they're evil. I think they're evil.
Even at the end of the other story.
I think because of how they end in the wraparound, I think they're like evil.
But if there was no wraparound ending, you would think they weren't evil.
They were like fine, like
wow.
Neutral if anything.
So that makes it very confusing.
Yeah.
Magnets, how do they work? This is me and Kaylee.
What? No, that's not us.
No, this is me. No.
That's us. That's the ones that connect.
Actually, this is you and me. Okay, so the new wraparound deals with the absolute worst pickpocket I've ever seen, who would get caught 100%.
Oh my God. There's no way. Like, one of the things that he pickpockets, like, he just, like, he rips
this
bag off of a woman.
A purse off of a chick.
And she doesn't even, like, move.
There's no way.
There's no way. If somebody was like, no.
No, there's absolutely no way you could yank a purse off of somebody without them feeling it.
No.
Yeah, his pickpocketing skills need serious work. So this is played by Matt Frewer, is that how you'd say that?
Matt Frewer.
Now, Matt Frewer is no rookie to Stephen King adaptations, even at this point. He plays Trash Can Man in the Stand adaptation. He is Job in The Lawnmower Man 2. I know that's a real loose connection to Stephen King, but he takes Jeff Fahey's place in the sequel. He's in Riding the Bullet. He's in Desperation.
Wow.
He's in Bag of Bones.
Wow.
He's done quite a bit of Stephen King. So he has worked with Mick Gareth as well in The Stand. But yeah, so he's a pickpocket. He goes into this kind of sideshow attraction thing. And this thing's like falling off me. And there's the Hand of Glory.
Yeah.
Not a glory hole, a glory hand.
Glory hand.
And so he decides, let's see, do I have anything else? Oh, we get a real quick cameo of Lynn Shay.
Oh yeah.
Screaming.
She's one of the people that he thieves from.
Yep, but she like catches him.
She does.
Yells for help, and that's why he has to go hide.
Yeah.
So he goes in there and Mr. Quicksilver himself is like, you're going to hear a story.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I need to hide from the cops.
Yeah.
Tell me. So then we find him playing our main character, the surgeon, who's a plastic surgeon. And do you believe that his client is 39?
No. I don't.
What gives it away?
I was actually really creeped out by the surgeon office scenes for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's just scary because it's like all the people in there are like addicted to plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Like even when his like assistants going through the schedule for the day, they have like one new person, first timer, and then the other two or other three are like repeats. Like one of them's in for her like yearly liposuction. One's in for something else, and then there's the brow lift lady, and he's like telling her like, I can't, like, your skin is too thin This is like, you've already had 5 facelifts.
Yeah, you should
She's
never
like,
watch.
I'm 39. I've only had 4.
Which is hilarious because your doctor 100% knows
I know.
how old you are.
I know. She's like, how old do you think I am? And he's like, well, I have your birth date.
I have your charts
on your
here.
medical record.
Yes. Like what? Now, yeah, if you're uncomfortable with this, you definitely never need to watch the show Nip Tuck.
No, I don't think I'd like it. I don't care what people do with themselves, like as far as plastic surgery and whatnot goes. Like, body modification is something that I think is a very personal thing. But I do know people get addicted to it, and I do think it can be really dangerous and can cause a lot of self-esteem issues. And I also, like, we've talked about this before, like when older women are trying, like when there's a, like, how old is that woman really? Do you think? Like 60,
late 50s,
60 or something?
Maybe 6. Yeah,
like you
maybe
can't
60.
always look,
20.
you know, 20 years younger or whatever, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
Like you can still be a really beautiful, like, person of your age, or you know. Anyway, but
age appropriate beauty.
Yeah, like fuck idolizing the youth.
Yeah, something we definitely don't value enough in our society is the gracefulness and beauty of aging.
Yeah.
But yeah, we associate age with fragility
and death.
Right. So,
which is true. You're closer to death the older you are, but.
And I mean, you know, and of course, obviously, the ultimate, which is what drives a lot of us sexually, is like reproduction,
fertility or whatever.
Fertility.
Yeah.
Even though most guys are like, "Oh, I want to pull out because I don't want to get you pregnant," but I want you to look like you could get pregnant. I just don't want you to get pregnant.
And then, but it's like you have women that are like peeling their skin off and like tight, like
guys do all sorts of crazy shit too.
Oh.
Do you okay?
I mean, yes,
how many guys
but like
do you
how many
think
guys
would be getting dick enlarging surgeries if
that is something that guys would do, but I just think that women do so much more to like maintain like youth than guys ever do, like for that,
because girls are attracted to older men typically. Oh, I like how distinguished it makes you. Like, oh, I got a daddy thing, you know, whatever, right? So many women are into older dudes. There are definitely chicks that are like into dudes their age.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, when I was in my 20s, and especially when I was in my late teens, I couldn't get girls my age to save my life most of the time. When I hit my 30s and like mid 30s especially, this is when all the like 20 something, 22, 23, they were all about me all of a sudden, right? Because I was that older guy or whatever. So there wasn't an incentive for me to want to look younger. In fact, there was more of an incentive for me to look a little older, to grow out the gray in the sides of my hair and whatever.
About, you didn't have any younger. You didn't have any.
I didn't say I went with them.
You didn't have anyone.
I didn't do anything with them. They wanted me, and I said I'm waiting for my wife eventually, Kaylee, who I don't know yet.
Yeah, you waited for me.
So, anyways, moving on from all of this. I don't like all this probing. This is the only probing that happened, though. No other. None. Zero.
Suspicious.
No, it's not suspicious. What are you talking about?
Very suspicious.
Moving on. The car scene is very goofy. Kaylee pointed this out, but I'm in agreement with her. If the car starts, you know, your hands take over the wheel, and you're like in danger, stop the car.
Like your feet are still in control.
Your feet are part of you, right?
I know, the way he acts is like his whole body is
the feet are like
over.
Viva la Revolution, you know?
Like,
yeah.
I really liked, that's actually something in this segment that I really liked.
I put a lot of effort into putting my foot up here, and when I looked in the camera, I couldn't even see my foot. It was like off camera, so that was literally for nothing.
Yeah, the car scene is super silly.
Yeah, but so this is somewhere where you and I get it in a humorous way, but the hands talking is legit some of the silliest, dumbest shit I've seen in a movie in a while.
I really liked it, and I actually, like, in this segment, I was like, yeah, I get it. If I was a hand, I would want to not be a part of the body. Like,
Why?
Because escape
'Cause
the
you're being-
tyranny of the body. I already feel like that in my whole body. Like, if I could get out of my whole body, I would. I don't know. I just liked it because, like, they became aware and they were like, I don't want to wipe your butt. I don't want to do what you want me to do anymore. I want to go off and do hand things on my own. And I understand it.
So
I get it.
The hands started singing Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't
And I
do
like
what you
them
tell
talking.
me.
I like whenever he's asleep and they're like on his belly and they're like, "We're gonna get free like tomorrow,
That
brother.
is
I'll be back."
so goddamn silly. Like, the fact that they sat down and were like, discuss this.
But it's like
in table
they're,
reads.
They're not.
Like, imagine a table read with this and be like, the hands are talking? What's going to happen? You're like, well, you're just going to move your hands while you sleep. And they're going to be like, blah, 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 blah. Like,
really
what, dude?
it.
That's straight up Evil Dead.
I know.
That's straight up Evil. We have some Evil Dead homages going on here. Except for they just squeaks in Evil Dead, but it does drag him around.
Yeah.
Right? It's only one hand.
I love it. It's like body horror light.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Half the calories, all the stupid. It's ridiculous. But yeah, as I said, Clive Barker makes an appearance as the anesthesiologist. Dude, just we're gonna take over at this and that. Revolution.
I love when she like wakes up and she's like,
she sees him doing this. You're
and then
like,
they're
can
like,
you hear him? No.
And then they're like, just go to sleep.
Yeah.
I loved it. I
They
don't
literally
know.
refer to the one hand as the Messiah.
Yeah.
The Messiah! And their voices, little mouse voices.
It was sad.
So they're talking to each other
I
telepathically.
thought they were aliens for a moment.
Mm.
For a moment, I was like, okay, his hands got like replaced with aliens.
You know, that would actually been kind of cool.
Because then it's like they're not even part of his
if we
body.
if we could have got into that, if we could have got into this idea that humans once existed in a handless world, where we all walked around with stumps, and then these aliens came down and had these, you know, they were hand-like, and we like enslaved them, and attached them to our bodies, and this was and then like comatose, put them in like comatose, or like mind controlled them, so that we are now in control of them.
And then they woke up,
and are like launching this rebellion against their captors.
That's what
and
I
they're
thought.
like, we need freedom.
Yeah,
that I would actually be into. I actually like that. That's ridiculous. One of the most absurd plot lines I've ever conceived in my life off the top of my head there. But with your help. But that is actually ludicrous in a way that I actually like.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
That's what I thought. That's like kind of what I thought was going on. It was like, they're not really part of his body.
Yeah.
But they are. They are part of his body. This is just like your body parts gain sentience and gain awareness.
If there is a more in-depth review anywhere on the internet on this movie, I want to see it. Please link me in the comments below. It does not exist. That I guarantee. Like, when we cover movies like Halloween and Friday the 13th and those kinds of stuff, like, I feel like I'm just saying stuff at the camera that has been said a trillion times, right? Because everyone's seen it, everyone talks about it. I'm not going to come up with an original thought. But with this movie, we own this movie now.
We own Quicksilver Highway.
I have a lot of movies like this on the channel where I'm very proud to say that we have the one definitive review.
I agree.
Wow. Look at me now, Mom. Top of the world. All right. Okay, so I will say waking up, strangling you, unbeknownst to me, just kind of like I wake up and I'm strangling you. That's what I'm going to tell the cops happened. Is terrifying for sure. That is definitely like a fear, right? That my hands or something or my body's just going to take over, and I'm just going to have to be like a backseat viewer,
backseat strangler.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to be like, you know, a viewer, an audience member to my body, right?
Yeah, it's scary.
That's scary,
It's
for
scary.
sure, especially if you're killing someone you love. I mean, I wouldn't want to kill anybody, but especially someone you love. That's terrifying, right? But I will say this. Number one, yes, yet again, guys, when you choke someone out and they go to sleep, have you ever noticed, like in the UFC, like when they like put them in sleeper holds and stuff, and the guys pass out, they don't die.
They come back.
You
Your body breathes still.
So your body loses consciousness, but
Yeah.
not life.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to continue to keep holding them after death.
Yeah.
I keep telling people this, and I feel like one day
Somebody's gonna
somebody's
be
gonna
like,
be like
I
on the stand,
learned from you.
and they're gonna be like, I only killed them because Sinister Cinema told me that I have to continue to keep holding them after they pass out. They're not dead when they go like this. Okay, that's not death.
No.
That's just them losing consciousness. And then if you continue to keep holding them, eventually brain death will occur. But until then, they're not dead.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he
holds his wife's neck until she goes limp and
Yes.
then falls, right? He immediately lets go of her. A, she's not dead.
Yeah.
Let's just humor the movie, crush her trachea, whatever.
Yeah.
And she can't breathe. Okay, fine. Like, that would be problematic.
Terrible. Yes.
But that's not what happened. He strangled her till she passed out. But let's say she's dead. For movie's sake, movie logic says she's dead. He is a doctor.
Yeah.
He is a medical doctor. Okay, this isn't a therapist. This isn't a chiropractor. This is a medical doctor.
Yeah.
He's a plastic surgeon. He does not A, check her vitals.
No.
He does not B, try to resuscitate or revive her in any way, shape, or form.
I mean,
What?
to be fair, if he had gone over there and tried to, his hands would have not worked.
Sure.
But, like, he should have at least tried.
Or like he goes to try to like give her mount and the hands are refilling. He's like, no, like I need to resuscitate her, right? That would have even added to the scare. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. This is those kinds of scenes where I need to be on set.
Yeah.
And then you say, Jason, how's this scene working? And I'm like, okay, the hands talking to each other is pretty stupid. But if we're going to stick with that.
But then I'm there and I'm like,
he needs to try to resuscitate his wife.
Yeah.
Right? And then his hands need to like, he's trying to resuscitate or something. And then, they start pushing too hard or something. And he's like, no, you can't do it that hard.
Yeah,
and then they collapse her chest.
what?
See what I'm saying? That's
That's
terrifying.
scary.
That's horror. That's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Because he would go to resuscitate her. Any person would try this.
Yeah. But
He's a
especially
doctor.
a doctor.
100% he's going to resuscitate her.
Yes.
So then he starts doing it, and then they're like doing it too hard. And he's
Yeah.
like, that's too hard, stop. And he crushes her chest.
Yeah.
That would have been gnarly
Would have been super
and
bad.
added to the horror of it. Right? So him not trying to resuscitate her at all, not even as a thought,
Like,
is insane to me.
yeah.
The fact he doesn't check her vitals, he doesn't try to like find a pulse or
He just
anything.
tries to go call the. Well, he doesn't even try to call the
He
police.
would not think she was dead.
He
As a
doesn't-
doctor, he would be like, she's passed out.
I thought he was going to try and call the police, but he doesn't.
He doesn't
He
even
calls
do that.
his therapist.
Yeah. He doesn't even call an
Maybe
ambulance.
he thinks he's like having a breakdown, like he's like not even in reality or
I don't
something.
care.
I don't know.
I
But
don't care.
yeah, it's crazy that he doesn't even call the police. He calls his therapist. But I like obviously that his hands are like when he's trying to like use the phone, they're like no.
So this is a statement I will definitely stick to on this. Unless the hands have like superpower, in order for any of this to work, and this is true of any of these movies, it's not just his hands. It also has to be his arms.
Yeah,
His arms have to be involved. Everything he's doing is all arms.
I know.
Right? It
yeah.
can't. It's not just the hand. If it's just the hands, it would just be this. It would just be wrist movement,
Yeah.
and not even wrist, because the wrist would have to be in on it.
I think
It
that
would
they
just
are
be the
supposed
hand.
to be like really strong because like they pull his arms to do the things, but it's like he could like still control his arms and his hands would be like
You wouldn't even have control of the wrist if it was just the hand. So it'd have to be at least the wrist and the hand.
It is because when they get cut off, they're like here.
Yeah. So
They're like-
even the wrist and the hand, there's just not enough. Like what he's doing, but I guess the wrist could just like it's pulling the arm with it.
Yeah.
The arm's not strong enough to fight against your limp wrists. No.
I guess.
No, it has to be the arms too. And then the arms, like when they cut them off, they're like, hey, what about us? How come you didn't take us with you?
And just all your body parts are like
Well, at the end of this one, we
That's
get
what
another body
happens.
part. Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. I knows it.
What?
And okay, question of the logic of these guys' rebellion and revolution.
Yeah.
Don't you think, just a hypothetical here, let's say hands got, because so these come alive, right? So they got the first one who wakes up, he's the Messiah, right? He's the one who's woken from the slumber, and now he's the one, he wakes the other hand,
Yeah.
and then they're going out and they're like, hey, wake up,
And
right?
like,
And then the hands are like, oh my god, I've been asleep, right? Okay, so this is the Messiah. They all deem this thing like their leader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you not think that he's the one that should have been freed?
Yes.
First.
Yes.
You don't think when they went to grab the hatchet or whatever,
yes,
that it should have been the lackey that grabs it and frees the Messiah?
The only
Why is the Messiah still attached to his body?
He's like, he has better control. Like, I'm more dexterous with this hand, so I'm gonna cut you off. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't.
No, because their hands wouldn't have
He says it like his use of the hand is what makes it stronger.
In a world of hands,
yeah,
everything's ambidextrous,
right?
Right, like there's no. I guess I don't know though. In the human world, there's morons, and there's and I'm assuming like the left hand. Yeah, the left hand.
The less used
for right-handed people, it's like dumb.
Yeah.
And kind of like running, and it's like falling on itself because it doesn't. And then the right hands are like really strong. That'd be actually pretty funny. I mean, they're like, "Shut up, lefty."
And then there's like a classism that starts happening, and then the lefties have to leave. But then there's also the right hands that are like, I'm like the left hand of.
But there's 10% of lefts.
Yeah, that's
that are like part of the right hand.
And then that means there's 10% of rights that are part of the left.
Yeah, yeah. We got a whole society now we can put together. But then there's ambidextrous people.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're twins, right?
They're twins.
They're twins. They're both easily. They both have the same level of competency.
They're like, we are Siamese.
Once again, best review on YouTube for this movie. No one's talking about the uprising after the fact and what that would look like, right? But you gotta free the Messiah first. Yeah. Dumb decision to leave it attached to the body, because here's the thing: with this scenario, I got recording, so okay. With this scenario, one hand frees the other.
Yeah. And
then the other hand is kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Right? Because how do you get the other hand free? Because it doesn't have enough power
to cut itself off.
No, it can't cut itself off.
Oh, unless, and for the other one.
But the other one to come and help. Right? So what you'd have to do, what should have made sense here is that, okay, let's say the Messiah remains on the body so that he can free everybody.
Yeah.
Right, so he goes around and starts cutting everyone's hands off.
Crazy,
right?
Yeah,
that would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Is like, I'm going to cut you all free, so he's cutting right and lefts off, and it's like, okay, I need to get enough together they could free me. Now you guys are, and then they could like amass like a body, of hands. They all kind of like work together, and they look like they look like a body.
Yeah.
But all hands.
But hands.
And then they're coming at him to try to cut his hand off in the end.
That would have been cool.
Because the body part thing is done in the Oates Studios shorts. The one I think with Dakota Fanning.
Oh.
There's like this whole amalgamation of body parts that form this creature thing.
Oh.
Neil Blomkamp stuff. Anyway, so that would have been cool, but I don't know if they had the effects of the budget for that. Just throwing it out there. When the hands turn corners, they squeal.
Yeah.
Right?
They are like their tires squealing.
The thing I definitely want to make a connection to, and I'll kick myself if I hadn't made the connection to it, but Christopher Lloyd plays Fester in the Addams Family. And the effects in this, obviously, the things look like Thing.
Yeah, they do.
Right? So, Fester and Thing together in the same movie again.
Yeah.
They probably cast Thing.
They probably did.
They're like, I bet you thought you weren't going to be able to find another movie.
And
he's like, we were buddies. I got you another
gig?
job. Yeah, come with me. And he's like,
He's like, I love it.
He's like, do you have 17 other friends?
He's like,
oh, let me wake him up.
oh no, let me wake him up.
Let me wake him up.
Oh no.
When our main character jumps off the building, he decides he is now an Olympic diver.
Yeah, he was like,
he does so many flips
so
before
many
he hits the ground.
somersaults. Why not? I don't know. It's like,
I mean, if you're gonna go out,
yeah,
go out
go
spectacularly.
out spinning.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sad when all the hands jump off after him.
Yeah.
Because they're all like, whee!
Yeah. And then when the guy at the bottom was like running to the ambulances, he was like, "Over here, I need a hand."
Nobody said that. You said that.
He should have said that. But yeah, I don't know why this stops it. This stops the revolution.
I don't either. I'm like, his hands were already turned. Like, they should still be aware, and then they should be like, oh no.
Like the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor.
The doctor's hands were awake.
Yeah, they were
and
like,
as soon as the
me
Messiah
with you.
dies,
they die
they
too.
just go back to sleep.
They go back to sleep. I don't know what that is.
That makes
But
no
then,
sense. Once they're awake, they should be the new Messiah.
yeah, that's what I thought. But I
But
guess that doesn't work.
This leads to the uprising
Of the noses.
of the noses.
I don't know why she's cutting it off. She's just like,
I don't think she likes it.
she's like,
It's
nope.
like, it's not supposed to do that. She wouldn't go see a doctor when she's in a hospital already.
Dude, what? She just
Like,
with those scissors too. I
All
don't
she had
even
to
know.
do is literally press a button in her room, and like a nurse.
she'd be like,
or a
"Is this
doctor,
normal?"
Yeah, is this? She's like, "I'm
What
sorry.
are the nose is gonna do?
I look like the witch from Bewitched right now."
Like, hands can move around, right?
Right.
They can crawl.
Right?
Noses can't do nothing.
No.
But it was like, whee, at the
You know what the
very end.
noses are gonna do? They're gonna suck up all the oxygen on Earth.
Like,
They're like,
they don't even have lungs.
and we're like, where's all the air? As we breathe through our mouths,
And then our mouths are like,
we're gonna get sick because we're not gonna have anything filtering our oxygen.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Breathe through your nose, people. Better for you. Look it up. But yeah, why the hands jump to? He convinces them that he's the new Messiah
know.
because
They're-
he's
even
still
though
attached to the body
His
or
hand
something.
is like, he's lying.
Yeah.
He's not. He's gonna destroy us.
Why is he friggin'
But
like
he's
Mr.
like-
Bill?
What? Oh.
He's gonna be mean to me.
But the hands are, I don't know.
They're dumb.
They're like, we trust the body this time.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We talked about this movie
We talked about it for a
way
really
too
long time.
This is like 45 minutes at least.
And then the
At
end,
least.
the very end of the wraparound, he's like, we already talked about it.
Yeah.
His hands are like, well,
Yeah.
and he's like, what the? And then he steals from a cop.
Okay.
And the cop's like, Charlie, you're coming in.
Say bye.
Quicksilver Highway.
Bye! Join the revolution! Ah! Oh no! This isn't me! This isn't me! Bye!